Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns have a tough matchup this Sunday against Jared Goff, Aiden Hutchinson, and the Detroit Lions, a team fresh off of a massive Monday night road win against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. We have to start with Aiden Hutchinson because he is well on his way to being the comeback player of the year. A forced fumble, a sack in the fourth quarter of that game. He'd been close earlier in the game, but got the big play when it mattered the most, stripping the football, more so punching the football out of Derrick Henry's hands. It leads to 3 points. Then the Lions, the next drive, who do they go to? Their best weapon on offense, 4th and 2 to try and salt the game away. Amon Ra St-Brown, Montgomery runs it in for a touchdown, and that was his second of the night. Jahmyr Gibbs also ran for 2 touchdowns on the night. That has not happened very many times in NFL history already. They've broken the record for most times that a tandem running back duo has had, each of them a touchdown rushing on the day. For Cleveland, wow, what a win against the Green Bay Packers. This is a team that fights. They fought against the Cincinnati Bengals in week 1, just needed to make that field goal at the end. They were battling against the Green Bay Packers the entire day, waiting around, and what do opportunistic good defenses do? They take advantage when they have an opportunity. Jordan Love gifts them that pick. They get set up inside the red zone, punch it in for the touchdown, and what do you know? Tie game. They block the kick. The Browns get the ball with great field position. There's a penalty on Micah Parsons. Flacco has the completion to set up the game-winning 55-yard field goal. What a win! And against a team that, you know, the Detroit Lions were very happy seeing that ball go through the uprights. The Green Bay Packers are 2-1, just like the Detroit Lions now. 2-1. Thank you to the Cleveland Browns fans. Now the Detroit Lions, you would hope if you're a Cleveland fan, go a little bit respectful and nice on this one. That is not exactly what will happen in this game. Dan Campbell's team, for starters here on the interior, they have improved so much from that week 1 game. They were just getting dominated. Both sides of the football could not run it against Green Bay. They couldn't stop anything in the secondary. Jordan Love had a wide open wide receivers. There was no pass rush getting remotely close to Jordan Love. And then you go to that game against Chicago and the way that they came out and poured it on that Bears secondary, and then the Baltimore Ravens containing Lamar Jackson, sacking him 7 times, not allowing Derrick Henry at all any space. He had the rushing touchdown for 28 yards. But if you take that away, he had 11 carries for 22 yards on the day, except for that explosive run. Lamar Jackson, very much so contained. You tell me that you hold that rushing attack to only 85 yards, you will take it every single time. Now, for the Cleveland Browns, they're really establishing something a little bit here in the run game, right? They've got Quinshon Judkins going a little bit more. He had over 5 yards a carry. Cleveland Browns fans, he's turning into one of your absolute favorite players, especially when you watched him win a national championship this past season for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He does everything. He's explosive. He's not afraid to lower his shoulder pads and just deliver a big blow. He can catch the football out of the backfield. He's a very good blocker. He's explosive. He can hit the home runs. He does everything that you need. A 3-down back. Quinshon Judkins immediately looks like he's the guy going forward here. A major positive that they have their 2nd-round pick, and he is producing. Mason Graham, I really like to see positive signs here that he could have a decent performance against Detroit. Certainly, they're going to need something of that sort. They need a performance from the youngster. He had half a sack last week against the Packers. They got to defend the run well. They did that against Green Bay this past week. They only allowed 81 yards rushing. Josh Jacobs, under 2 yards a carry on the day, less than 3 yards rushing overall. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Can you limit the Detroit Lions offense to something like that? Limit the amount of explosives that they have and force Jared Goff into 2nd and 7 a lot more often than having the 2nd and 4s, 2nd and 3s that we saw almost every time on Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens? Because if you're setting them up second and short, you just have no shot because that play action, that's how you get burnt deep. Amon Ra, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, all of those weapons, or they're running the football on you. You just have no idea. But if you get them into second and long, then you can start to play coverage. Myles Garrett can turn into the monster that we all know he is. He's on that Defensive Player of the Year pace. Aiden Hutchinson is kind of doing the exact same thing. For the Detroit Lions, how do you attack that very good Cleveland Browns defense? Well, frankly, I believe it's a steady dose of David Montgomery in this game. He showed that he has that burst at 72-yard run with some shiftiness from Montgomery. People are saying that he's the bruiser, the thunder to Gibbs lightning. That's all we hear. It's a guy that is going to run through you, not around you. But he had that explosive run and showed exactly what we saw in Chicago the past couple of seasons, that he by no means is slowed down compared to where he was at the beginning of his career. If not, he's a little bit better right now. I like David Montgomery. Get him his carries. He had 12 carries on the day against Baltimore. Obviously, that run inflated some things, but besides that run, he still had 11 carries for close to 70 yards on the day, which is still a great average. Jahmyr Gibbs, he didn't quite find the seam at times, looking for the edge. It'll come, but I kind of like Montgomery, getting him more carries, see it be a little bit more balanced. It's not quite where it was year one with them together, where it was balanced. Last year, Gibbs got a ton more of the carries as he became one of the best weapons in the league. I like a bit more of the balance in this game. Keep them fresh because Carson Schlesinger for the Cleveland Browns, this kid can hit. He had one of the plays of the game against the Packers coming down. Jordan Love, I don't know why he didn't throw the football away. For some reason, he holds on to it and he gets a taste of some UCLA brewing. That's right. This kid is phenomenal. And you can just feel it at some point. There's going to be a David Montgomery. There's a hole. Carson Schlesinger closing that hole real fast, and there's going to be an impact. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a car wreck. Maybe it's at the goal line on a 4th and goal. Who wins that battle? I'm not of the confidence to come out here and say that to you. I just know it's coming at some point. These two guys have a feel for it. Let's find out. That's why we're excited for this game, to see these two caliber of players. That Carson Schlesinger already as a rookie is playing at this type of level. So Cleveland, you're feeling great. You're looking on the other side and how well Brad Holmes has done acquiring talent, getting guys in the 2nd, 3rd, the 4th round. The 1st round picks have been fantastic. And then for Cleveland, well, it looks pretty good right now with Schlesinger and Quinshon Judkins, Mason Graham developing, seeing the production from the rookies and heads in the right way. Remember, they still got that Jacksonville Jaguars 1st rounder and their own pick next year. So Cleveland, a win like that against Green Bay, things positively trending in the right direction. But again, the major concern is just the quarterback position, but also it's the weapons. There just hasn't been the guy for Joe Flacco to get the football to. We thought Jerry Jeudy would go back to being such a dynamic version of himself. There's Isaiah Bond, the kid from Texas. There's David Njoku, Cedric Tillman, Fannin. They have a bunch of guys, a bunch of names, players that have had tons of success in splash plays in the past, but it doesn't look like Joe Flacco at this point currently is the guy to be that point guard to correctly distribute it to all of those weapons. That's what we're seeing from him. Only sacked 2 times on the day, but that Green Bay front, it's like there was just nothing. There's nowhere for Joe Flacco to go in that game, and expect the Detroit Lions to be all over it, getting pressure in Joe Flacco's face, not wanting to sit back there in the pocket. They're going to be very aggressive, say, hey, look, if you can hit on the deep ball, we'll almost corral it, but we are going to attack you and make you hit those big-time throws to see if Joe Flacco still has it in him to come up with those plays. The quarterback play for the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff, man, he is easily one of the top 8 quarterbacks in the National Football League. The confidence he's playing with, even on some of the throws that are incomplete, you can see the ball is going to the right spot accurately. It's out on time. He does all of the things that were preached in that Johnson offense, and he's continued to do. Is be consistent, that he is getting the ball out, and when he has to hit the easy ones, he can hit the easy ones, and when he has to put a little bit of touch, a little bit of extra sauce on that football, a bit more air under it on a big time throw, 4th down, Amon Ra, he's able to make it. Just one of those types of plays that makes you just tip your cap to a guy that has been embattled for the earlier part of his career and then gets to Sean McVay and he's traded away and has just found a home in Detroit. You feel great for guys like that. As far as a prediction goes in this game, I have to say that I'm leaning a little bit towards a Detroit Lions 2-score win. Did not like the way that Cleveland Browns offense looked against Green Bay and the way that the Detroit Lions were able to respond to get all of those pressures on Lamar Jackson throughout the day has me feeling like they're going to have to make a decision. I believe that will be stop the run and put pressure on Flacco, make somebody have to separate on the outside, and I don't think that there's a guy right now for Cleveland that has shown he can be that, whereas the Lions maybe had 3 with Laporta, and obviously Jameson Williams, Amon Ra, and these guys out of the backfield, they've just got too many weapons. Lions 26, Browns 13. Let me know down below in the comments who you think wins this game and why. It should be a fun one from what I call the fast track in Detroit. Fired up for this one. You should be too. And please, with Blitz with Blender, we make NFL videos every single day. Would love to have you around, engaging, trying to build this community out of passionate and just fans that love the game of football. So I appreciate you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blender, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blender.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.